Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most shocking revelations from the Russian battlefield, the so-called invincible T-90M tanks that didn't even last a single day in real combat. Once hailed by Vladimir Putin as the pride of the Russian army, these tanks were supposed to dominate the battlefield, but reality has turned out to be very different. Reports and battlefield footage show that these high-tech machines have been destroyed almost immediately after deployment, raising serious questions about Russia's defense capabilities, its military strategy, and the myth of its so-called invincibility. When Putin unveiled the T-90M, he called it the most advanced and battle-ready tank in the world. The Kremlin boasted that it was equipped with superior armor, cutting-edge sensors, and unmatched firepower that could outclass anything Ukraine or NATO could field. State media showcased it as a symbol of Russia's technological might and military supremacy. But on the front lines, that illusion shattered within hours. Ukrainian forces, armed with modern Western, supplied weapons like the Javelin and N-law anti-tank missiles, exposed just how vulnerable these tanks really were. The T-90M, known as the Prorov, was meant to be an upgrade over the older T-72 and T-80 series. It was fitted with reactive armor and an advanced fire control system, supposedly capable of engaging multiple targets at long range. Russian propaganda claimed it could survive direct hits from modern anti-tank weapons. But that claim didn't hold up. In multiple verified videos from Ukraine, these tanks were seen burning, exploding, and being abandoned by their crews. Some were destroyed by simple drone-dropped munitions that cost a fraction of the tank's value. Analysts believe that the failure of the T-90M reflects a much deeper problem in the Russian military-industrial complex. Many of these tanks were assembled quickly, using old Soviet parts and rushed production methods to meet wartime demand. What Russia called state-of-the-art was in many cases a mix of outdated systems disguised under new armor plating. Corruption, lack of quality control, and unrealistic deadlines turned the T-90M into a paper tiger, impressive on paper, but utterly ineffective under real combat conditions. Ukrainian forces have been documenting the destruction of these tanks meticulously. Every time a T-90M is knocked out, it sends a powerful message. Russia's claims of invincibility are a myth. Western analysts point out that Russia's overconfidence in these machines has led to disastrous losses. Videos shared on social media show the aftermath of these engagements: burning wrecks, melted turrets, and scorched earth, a grim reminder that no weapon, no matter how advanced, can survive poor strategy and undertrained crews. The psychological impact of these losses on Russian troops cannot be underestimated. The T-90M was supposed to inspire confidence and fear. Instead, it has become a symbol of failure. Soldiers sent to the front expecting to fight inside a near-indestructible tank are now realizing that they are sitting inside a coffin on tracks. This realization is crushing morale across the Russian army. Reports suggest that many tank crews now hesitate to advance into contested zones, knowing full well that their invincible machine could be destroyed within minutes. Another major factor contributing to the T-90M's downfall is the evolution of modern warfare. Drones have completely changed the battlefield. Ukrainian reconnaissance and kamikaze drones can detect, track, and strike targets long before tanks even realize they've been spotted. No matter how thick the armor is, it's useless against precision strikes from above. The T-90M was designed for traditional warfare, large-scale tank battles, not a modern digital battlefield where cheap drones and precision-guided missiles dominate. Experts also note that the tank's design flaws have made it even more vulnerable. The T-90M's ammunition storage remains one of its biggest weaknesses. Like older Soviet designs, it keeps shells inside the turret, which makes it prone to catastrophic explosions when hit. This jacken, the boxy effect where the turret is blown clean off, has been seen in countless videos. Western tanks, by contrast, store ammunition in separate compartments to reduce the risk of crew death after a direct hit. Russia ignored this crucial safety measure, prioritizing compact design over survivability, and now the consequences are visible on the battlefield. The T-90M's destruction has also exposed another critical issue: the failure of Russian logistics and maintenance systems. These tanks require constant servicing, spare parts, and trained engineers to operate efficiently. But as the war drags on, supply lines have been stretched thin, and trained mechanics are in short supply. Many tanks are sent into battle with incomplete maintenance or malfunctioning systems. Some reports even indicate that crews have been cannibalizing parts from damaged tanks just to keep others running. This level of disorganization highlights the deep rot within Russia's military structure. Moreover, Western sanctions have severely crippled Russia's ability to produce advanced components for these tanks. Many of the sensors, thermal imaging systems, and chips used in the T-90M were imported from abroad. With sanctions cutting off access to these technologies, Russia has been forced to use inferior domestic substitutes, reducing the tank's overall performance. What was once advertised as cutting edge has now become a downgraded machine, unable to compete with the latest Western or even Ukrainian equipment. On the other hand, Ukrainian forces have effectively learned how to hunt these tanks. Using a mix of NATO training, battlefield intelligence, and drone coordination, they have perfected the art of ambushing heavy armor. They know where the weak points are, how to exploit them, and when to strike. The destruction of the T-90M is not just a failure of Russian engineering, but also a testament to Ukraine's adaptability and tactical brilliance. The propaganda war surrounding the T-90M's performance has also been intense. Russian state TV continues to claim that the tank is performing admirably, while evidence on the ground says otherwise. Pro-Kremlin channels showcase staged videos of successful tank operations, but independent analysts quickly debunk them using geolocation and satellite imagery. This widening gap between propaganda and reality is eroding Russia's credibility, both domestically and internationally. Meanwhile, Ukraine has turned the destruction of these tanks into a strategic advantage. Every time one is destroyed, images of the wreckage are shared online, boosting morale and attracting more Western support. The message is clear: Russia's best technology can't withstand Ukraine's resolve and modern tactics. The sight of burning T-90MS serves as a symbol of resistance, a reminder that even the mightiest weapons can fall when used in the wrong hands. In the broader picture, the downfall of the T-90M challenges the entire myth of Russian military superiority. For decades, Russia has marketed its weapons as affordable and reliable alternatives to Western systems. Many countries bought into this image, purchasing Russian tanks, jets, and missiles. But the war in Ukraine has shattered that reputation. Nations that once depended on Russian arms are now reconsidering their partnerships, questioning whether the Kremlin can still deliver on its promises. India, for example, which operates a large fleet of T-90 tanks, is now closely watching these developments. If Russia's most advanced variant can't survive modern warfare, then the entire platform's credibility is at stake. Defense analysts predict that future arms exports from Russia will suffer greatly as confidence continues to erode. Buyers will think twice before investing in weapons that fail under real-world conditions. Inside Russia, this embarrassment is causing friction within the military and political elite. Some generals are reportedly blaming defense manufacturers for cutting corners, while others accuse field commanders of using the tanks improperly. Putin, who once proudly showcased the T-90M as proof of Russia's resurgence, now finds himself facing a harsh reality. His invincible machines have become symbols of humiliation. The Kremlin can't hide these losses forever. Satellite images, drone footage, and eyewitness accounts have made the truth impossible to conceal. Even Russian soldiers have begun posting anonymously about their experiences. Many describe the T-90M as unreliable and poorly maintained, with frequent system failures and weak protection. Some accounts reveal that crews were not properly trained to handle the tank's advanced systems, leading to mistakes in combat. A weapon is only as strong as the person operating it, and in Russia's case, unprepared crews have turned even advanced technology into liabilities. The failure of the T-90M also represents a deeper truth about Russia's war effort, the illusion of modernization. While Putin has spent years boasting about next-generation weapons, much of the military remains dependent on outdated infrastructure, corrupt supply chains, and flawed doctrine. The focus on image rather than substance has left Russia vulnerable. The T-90M was marketed as a symbol of power, but its destruction has exposed how hollow that power really is. As the war continues, the destruction of these tanks will likely accelerate. Ukraine is receiving more advanced weapons, including long-range missiles and drones capable of targeting armored units deep behind enemy lines. With each new delivery, Russia's losses will mount, and the myth of its military dominance will crumble further. The T-90M will be remembered not as a breakthrough in military technology, but as a cautionary tale of arrogance and overconfidence. Ultimately, the story of the T-90M serves as a stark reminder that war is the ultimate test of truth. Propaganda may deceive for a time, but the battlefield never lies. Putin's so-called invincible tanks, which were supposed to embody the strength of the Russian Federation, have instead revealed its weaknesses to the world. The world is watching as Ukraine continues to dismantle the myth of Russian invincibility, one burning tank at a time. The downfall of the T-90M marks a turning point in modern warfare. It shows that technology alone cannot win wars. Adaptability, training, and strategy matter far more. The age of heavy armor dominating the battlefield is fading fast. Drones, smart munitions, and networked intelligence are rewriting the rules. Those who fail to adapt, like Russia, will continue to pay the price. So while Putin may continue to boast about his military power, the truth lies on the battlefield in the charred remains of his so-called invincible machines. The T-90M was meant to be a symbol of dominance, but it has become a symbol of failure. The myth of Russian military superiority has been exposed, and the reality is far more fragile than the Kremlin would ever admit. In the end, the T-90M story is not just about a tank. It's about the collapse of an illusion of strength built on propaganda, corruption, and lies. And as the smoke clears, the world is left to see what Putin never wanted anyone to see: that behind the spectacle of power, Russia's war machine is crumbling from within. If you want me to continue with titles and tags for this video next, I can give you 10 SEO-optimized options right away. Do you want me to add those?